What is love? It's a question that echoes through time, one that philosophers, poets, and everyday people have tried to answer. In a small, quiet town, a young woman named Clara sat in her favorite coffee shop, pondering this very question. She had just finished reading a passage from 1 Corinthians chapter 13, which described love as patient, kind, and free from envy, boasting, or pride. Clara sipped her coffee, her mind buzzing with the idea that love is not just a fleeting emotion, but a verb, an action word. She wondered how this could apply to her life, especially with her strained relationship with her sister, Emma. Clara and Emma hadn't spoken in months. A misunderstanding had driven a wedge between them, and Clara found herself replaying their arguments, holding onto every slight. But the words from the passage lingered. Love is patient. Love is kind. Clara realized that love wasn't about waiting for Emma to change or apologize. It was about choosing to act with patience, even when it was hard. She decided to write Emma a letter, not to rehash old wounds, but to express kindness, to take the first step toward healing. Clara's letter to Emma was simple but heartfelt. She didn't demand an apology or bring up past wrongs. Instead, she wrote about their childhood memories and how much she missed her sister. Sending the letter felt like a leap of faith, but Clara chose to be patient, to endure the uncertainty of whether Emma would respond. Days turned into weeks, and Clara faced moments of doubt. Emma's silence tested her resolve, but she remembered the passage. Love is patient, meaning to endure, to have a good attitude even when someone is at their worst. Clara chose to hold on a hope, keeping her heart open. She practiced kindness in small ways, helping a neighbor, listening to a friend, realizing that love was a... One evening, Clara's phone buzzed. It was Emma, asking to meet. Clara's heart raced with a mix of nerves and excitement. When they met, Emma was guarded, her words sharp at first. But Clara stayed calm, listening without judgment. Slowly, Emma softened, and they began to talk, not about their fight, but about their lives. Clara realized that love meant showing up, even when it was uncomfortable, and choosing patience over frustration. As Clara and Emma rebuilt their relationship, Clara reflected on the idea that love is kind, derived from the Greek word kesmos, meaning generous, thoughtful, and full of grace. She wanted to embody this in her actions. When Emma struggled with a tough week at work, Clara showed up with homemade soup and a listening ear. She didn't expect anything in return. She simply wanted to be considerate, to show grace. This generosity extended beyond her sister. Clara volunteered at a local charity drive, inspired by the idea of kesmos as charity. She saw how small acts of kindness rippled outward, touching lives she'd never know. One day, she overheard two volunteers arguing about who deserved credit for the event's success. Clara thought of the passage, "Love does not envy. Love does not boast." She stepped in, gently redirecting the conversation to focus on the people they were helping, not on who got the glory. Love, she realized, was about lifting others up, not seeking personal gain. Clara's journey wasn't without challenges. She had always prided herself on being right, a trait that often fueled her arguments with Emma. But the passage's warning against pride, hyper mors, meaning arrogance or ego, hit home. Clara recognized that her need to win arguments had built walls between her and those she loved. One day, Emma made a comment that stung, implying Clara was too stubborn to change. Instead of firing back, Clara paused. She remembered that love is not proud, nor does it dishonor others. Swallowing her pride, she admitted she could be stubborn and asked Emma how they could work together to communicate better. The conversation wasn't easy, but it was honest. By letting go of her ego, Clara opened the door to deeper understanding. As their relationship grew stronger, Clara noticed how often she was tempted to bring up past hurts. Late-night conversations with Emma sometimes veered toward old grievances, but Clara stopped herself. Love keeps no record of wrongs. She imagined a ledger of every mistake Emma had made and pictured tearing it up. Instead of revisiting pain, she chose to focus on the present, addressing issues calmly when they arose. This choice transformed their dynamic. Emma, too, stopped dwelling on past conflicts. They began to trust each other again, rebuilding a bond that felt stronger than before. Clara realized that love wasn't about ignoring problems, but about addressing them with grace, not weaponizing them to hurt. Months later, Clara and Emma faced a new challenge. Their mother fell ill, and the stress tested their renewed bond. There were moments of frustration, misunderstandings, and exhaustion. But Clara held onto the final lessons from the passage. Love always protects, trusts, hopes, and perseveres. When Emma doubted they could handle their mother's care, Clara trusted in their strength together. When hope felt distant, she reminded Emma of their shared goal to support their mother. Through long nights and tough decisions, they persevered, choosing love over despair. Their mother's recovery became a testament to their commitment, not just to her, but to each other. Clara stood at her mother's bedside, holding Emma's hand as they laughed about old family stories. The passage from 1 Corinthians had become more than words. It was a guide for living. Love wasn't a fleeting feeling or a perfect state. It was a choice to be patient, kind, and humble, to trust and hope even when it was hard, and to persevere through every storm. As Clara looked at Emma, she knew their journey wasn't over. There would be more challenges, more moments where love would be tested. But she was ready to choose love day after day, knowing it was a verb, an action, a way of life.